4 years ago, 5-year-old Summer Wells disappeared from her home here in Hawkins County. It's believed that she walked out of this door and hasn't been seen since. And today, there are still no answers.
It was just another June evening in rural Tennessee. The sun was slipping behind the Appalachian hills, the air thick with summer stillness. On Ben Hill Road, in a worn-out home tucked among the trees, a little girl was chasing fireflies. Barefoot, wild-haired, and full of light. Her name was Summer Wells. She was 5 years old. And then, she was gone. Not in the way that kids wander off. Not in the way that ends in a neighbor's driveway. Summer disappeared, vanished into nothing. No screaming, no trail, no final sound. Just silence. Her mother said she went downstairs to play with toys. Just one floor away. Candace called to her, but there was no answer. Just that choking silence. And while you're listening to this, right now, somewhere out there someone knows exactly what happened. Someone is holding on to the truth. And someone might be holding on to her. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is listening to this too. So if you're here for drama, for gossip, for entertainment, turn this off. But if you're here because a 5-year-old girl slipped through the cracks of our world, and everyone at her fall, then listen. And don't you dare look away. Please subscribe and share your thoughts or any relevant information with us in the comments. Because Summer Wells deserves more than our curiosity. She deserves our outrage, our attention, our action. Where did Summer go? When a child goes missing, the world is supposed to stop. Time should freeze. Streets should empty. Every eye, every hand, every heartbeat should be focused on bringing her home. But that's not what happened here. June 15th, 2021. Summer Wells disappears. The next morning, an Amber Alert is issued, an endangered child. But by then, critical hours had already slipped through trembling hands. The search began, but the land fought back. Thick woods, steep ravines, dead zones where radios go quiet, cell towers that whisper nothing. In this corner of Tennessee, the wilderness doesn't give up its secrets easily. And Summer? She left no trace behind. June turned to July. Search crews slogged through dense underbrush. Dogs, drones, divers. Nothing. Church Hill Rescue tried. Hawkins County stepped in. But the deeper they looked, the darker it got. Neighbors held prayer vigils. Strangers donated. The reward fund grew to tens of thousands. But hope? Hope was already slipping into something colder. Then came the cameras. Doan and Candace Wells appeared on national television. Their body language dissected. Their motives questioned. On Dr. Phil, Candace walked out when gang involvement was brought up. Doan spiraled, arrested for DUI soon after. Probation violations. Jail time. All while their daughter was still missing. What kind of world loses a child and then lets her parents drift into chaos under a spotlight? What kind of silence settles over a search before it's even close to finished? And what if the people closest to her were hiding more than just pain? The terrain was difficult, but the truth? It's proving almost impossible. What secrets lie behind the public facade? By now, the search has gone quiet. Not because they found her, but because they didn't. More than 6,500 tips. Every inch of the holler searched. Dogs, divers, drones, psychics, and still no Summer Wells. But in the silence, a different kind of noise took over the whispers. The theories. The accusations. When the physical trail went cold, the investigation turned inward. To the people closest to Summer, and the shadows they carried. Let's talk about Doan Wells. His past isn't just checkered, it's bruised. Domestic assault, weapons charges, burglary, forgery, theft, Utah, Arkansas, Tennessee. A man with a history of control, of crossing lines. But when body language experts put him under the microscope, they found nothing. No deception. Just a father spiraling in grief. Or something that looked like it. Candace was another story. Her reaction when asked about organized crime. Explosive. She stormed off the Dr. Phil set. Some saw trauma. Others saw guilt. And then came the internet. Reddit lit up like wildfire. Theories flew faster than facts. Dry drowning. Overdose. CPS involvement. Hiding from the state. Some claimed she was sold. Disguised. Trafficked. Groomed, maybe dead. Maybe alive. Each theory more sinister than the last. And none of them proven. The truth is, it doesn't take much to turn a community into a courtroom. And a grieving family into suspects. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation calls it one of the most exhaustive searches in its history. But Summer? Still missing. In August of 2025, a new age-progressed photo was released, hoping to reignite leads. Hoping someone, somewhere, recognizes the girl she might have grown into. But for every new image, there's an old question that won't go away. If no one saw her leave, if no one heard her cry, if the land gave up no answers, then what really happened to Summer Wells? Is justice still within reach? Or is Summer lost to the woods forever? There are no mugshots, no courtroom cross-examinations, no arrests, no charges, and no Summer. Don Wells spent time behind bars, but not for what happened to his daughter. DUI, probation violation, not murder, not abduction, not even neglect. In 2023, the reward fund, once stacked with tens of thousands of dollars, was quietly redirected to a child advocacy center. A symbol, maybe, of what could still be saved, but not of what was lost. 1,000 days of hell. That's how Doan described it. 1,000 days without answers, without peace, without her. And still he pleads, he begs, to the public, to God, to whoever took her or knows who did, bring her back. The family clings to the edge of something between grief and denial. The community holds vigils, shares flyers, waits, but no one's holding Summer. What really happened that evening? Was there something more in that basement than just toys? And what about the red or maroon Toyota Tacoma scene near the home on the day she vanished? Just a coincidence? Or a missed key? Social media turned her case into a battlefield. Self-proclaimed psychics. YouTubers turning tragedy into content. Trespassers. Harassment. Rumors spread faster than facts. The line between justice and spectacle blurred. And all the while, Summer's voice was drowned out. A little girl disappeared from the hills of Tennessee. And maybe the earth swallowed her. Or maybe the people meant to protect her failed, in ways we still can't name. But Summer Wells is not a ghost story. She is not a theory. She is not content. She is 5 years old. She had a favorite toy. A favorite color. She had a laugh. And she had a future. You may never walk Ben Hill Road. You may never know her family. But if you've listened this far, then you know her name. The woods may have swallowed her, but the world still remembers her. And until the day Summer is found alive or otherwise, we cannot stop asking. We cannot stop caring. We cannot stop looking.